that they remain same, they remain as it is, like Musa, Isa, and there's so many other.
So now I remember, you said that before, now I remember. Yeah. Jazakallah khairan kaseera.
Anyone else? No? Okay, let's start. So we did over tajweed till ayah. Do you remember? I always mark and I think I forget last time.
196, but we stopped under Mahilla.
And then we started Al-Hajju Ashuru Ma'lumat. We read together or not?
We didn't read it. We stopped 196 Iqab.
Okay. Okay, let's start from ayah 197. Inshallah, we will read together and then I will ask.
No, sorry, teacher. We read until Ghafurur Rahim, 199.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I think we did until 199.
Yes, 199.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, let's start from ayah 200, inshallah. So today, yes, we are only one lesson behind in the tajweed. Okay, 200 Surah Al Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم
الله
الله
الرحمن الرحيم
وإذا
وإذا
إذا
قضيتم مناسككم
فديتم مناسككم
قضيتم مناسككم
فديتم
أذيتم
مناسككم
مناسككم
فاذكروا الله
فاذكروا الله
كذكركم
كذكركم
آباءكم
آباءكم
أو أشد
أو
أشد
أشد
ذكرا
ذكرا ذكرا
فمن الناس
ومن الناس
من يقول
يقول
ربنا آتنا
ربنا
آتنا آتنا
في الدنيا
الدنيا.
So we will not do idgham here. Why? As I told you before, that there are 4 words where we have the same rule. We have noon sakin and after that haruf yarmalun, but we are not doing idgham there because when noon sakina and the haruf yarmalun they come in one word, then we will not do. Simple rule is this. Likewise, we have sin wa nun, qin wa nun, bunyanun, and ad-dunya. These are the 4 words. We did this before. When they come, we will not do the idgham because the noon sakina and the haruf yarmalun they come in one word. Ad-dunya, qinwanun, swinwanun, Bunyan.
Bunyan.
So we will not make this, we will not read like Fidunya. We read Fidunya like Izhar. Fidunya
Fidunya.
الدنيا
وما له
وما
وما له
في الآخرة
في الآخرة
الآخرة
من خلاق.
من
من
خلاق
خلاق
ومنهم من يقول
ومنهم
ومنهم من
من
يقول
يقول
ربنا آتنا
ربنا
ربنا
آتنا
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 not tina آتنا
آتنا
في الدنيا
في
في
الدنيا
الدنيا
حسنة
حسنة
وفي الآخرة
في
في الآخرة
الآخرة
حسنة
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 وقنا
وقنا
عذاب النار.
عذاب
عذاب
النار
النار
أولئك
أولئك
لهم
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 نصيب مما
نصيب
نصيب
مما
مما
كسبوا
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 والله
والله
سريع الحساب.
سريع
سريع
الحساب
الحساب
واذكروا الله
واذكروا الله
في أيام معدودات.
في
في
أيام
أيام معدودات
فمن تعجل
فمن
فمن
تعجل
تأجل
في يومين
في
يومين
فلا إثم عليه
فلا
فلا إثم
عليه
عليه
ومن تأخر
ومن تأخر
فلا إثم عليه
فلا
فلا إثم عليهم عليه
لمن اتقى
لمن
لمن اتقى
واتقوا الله
واتقوا الله
الله
واعلموا أن
واعلموا أنكم
إليه
إليه
تحشرون.
تحشرون.
Okay, till here. Let's start from. So you can start first. Reading ayat 200.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم أفيد
Ayah
من
number 200. فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ, from where we started today.
فإذا قضيتم منا سكاكم
Read again. Mina, not mina. Manasikakum.
من مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذ- كذ- كذكركم آباءكم أو أشد ذكرا فمن الناس
Faminan.
من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من من خلاق.
Good. Barakallah. Yes, rules.
Okay, fa is alif madda there.
Mm-hmm.
Then da is on
Yes,
yalin, yalin.
good, Yalin.
Tumma, tumma is a mim shafi.
Very good.
Sikakum,
Mana. What is in mana?
sorry, mana is alif madda.
Good.
Sikakum, after kum is fa, so it's his izhar shafwi.
Very good. So when we read manasikakum, so we will not make kaf long. So
Okay.
it came long when you were reading manasikakum.
Manasikakum.
Very good. Is Hari Shafi. Good. After that, Fazkurullah.
Fa is alif madda again.
When
And
we join, we will not consider this alif madda.
okay. Rulla is Allah's name is read heavy because of
Good.
the Duma.
Mm-hmm.
Dik. Dik is Yamada. Dik.
No, we have no ya here.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
It's
Kum,
okay.
after kum is alif, so is Izar Shafwi.
Good.
Ba is Madde Asli.
Mm-hmm. And
Kum
which type of mad is this? Madde muttasil or madde munfasil?
Munfasil.
Look carefully. Munfasil is from fasal. Fasal mean separate, separate.
Oh, Muttasil.
Yes, muttasil is from wasal. Waw swad lam. This means join. So because the alif madda and hamza they come in one word, that's why we say this is the madde muttasil. Good. After that, kum.
Kum, and after that is alif is Izar Shafwi.
Mm-hmm.
Shadda Dikra. Dikra. Ra is red heavy over here.
Yes. What is in aw?
Yalin.
Yalin or vowlin?
Oh, sorry.
Vowlin.
Wowlin.
Good. Good. After that, faminan nasi.
Faminan Nasi. Nan is Nun Hunna.
Mm-hmm.
May Yakulu. May is Idgam.
Good.
Rabbana. Rabbana is Madesli here on Noon.
What is in yaqulu? Yaqulu.
Wow, Madda.
Good. ربنا آتنا. What type of mad is here?
منفصل
Good, very good.
في الدنيا. Then ما is alif madda
Hmm.
في الآخرة في الآخر no. Min khalaq is like izhar after min is kha.
Yes, min khalaq. What is in khalaq? What type of mad is?
Kalkala.
Yes, we do kalkala, and also what type of mad is here?
Madde arif waqfi.
Very good, mashallah, barakallah. Yes, after that, Saima, you can read.
जी أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
Very good. من يقول. Read this again.
من يقول
Yes.
رب
Naam should not be long.
जी
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Good. After that.
rules ومنهم is إظهار منهم من is إدغام شفي من يقول is إدغام كو is بومدة ربنا آتنا is مد منفصل آتنا is ألف مدة في الدنيا is يا is ألف مدة حسنة is إدغام في الآخرة حسنة फिर إدغام حسنة وإدغام وقنا نا is ألف مدة أذا is ألف مدة عذاب النار. Ra is gonna be heavy here at the end, right? And this مد is وقفي.
Alhamdulillah. Barak.
This
Yes, Rahim, you can read after that. Yes, Rohina, we are not able to hear you.
Oh, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
Ula, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا
जब हम
والله
इसको पढ़ेंगे जब हम पढ़ेंगे तो हमारे होंठ बिल्कुल भी स्पेस नहीं होगी. लहुम में भी और नसीबुम में भी. Both places we read, there should not be any space in between of our lips.
أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا والله سريع الحساب
Very good.
واذكروا
Till here,
الله.
Rohina, enough till here. One ayah completed. Lahum, when we read lahum, we will not make this now. We read this lahum nasweeb.
لهم نصيب مما.
Very good. All other is very good. Naswi, not see. Naswi.
نصيب مما.
Hear carefully. One is nasibun, one is naswi. Sweebun. Say again.
نصيب.
Very good. Now start.
रूल्स أولئك इसमें अशारा लाहुम इसमें इजहार शफवी.
ग्रामर नहीं बतानी, तजवीद. उलाइका. What type of
उलाइक इसमें मध्य मुत्तसल.
Very good.
मध्य मुत्तसल लाहुम इजहार शफवी.
Very good.
आगे नसीबुम इदगाम.
Good. What is in naswi?
नसी ये नसी यामत.
Very good.
कसबु वाउमत. Wallahu lame jalala. Sari'ul hisab hurufe kamriya. Ul hisab और बस इतना ही मैंने पढ़ा है।
हिसाब कौन सी मत?
ये है अलिफ मत और मद्दे आरिज वक्फी।
Good. Anyone who didn't read till now, they want to read. I think in last 2-3 weeks. If you didn't read, then raise your hand. I will listen from you.
That's me.
Me.
I haven't.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. Then start.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واذكروا الله في أيام معدودات فمن تعجل في يومين.
Read again. فَمَا تَعَجَّلَ. Don't make lam long. تَعَجَّلَ.
فما تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه وما تعجل جرى.
Till here. It's enough. Till here. When we read fi yawmayni, so we will also not noon long. To mark these two things, ta'ajjala and yawmayni. We will not make lam and noon long. Okay, now start telling us rules. Wadhkurullaha.
واذكروا الله it's a val kalkala.
Lam isme jalala. What we do here? We read this heavy or light?
We read heavy in Allah, and
Good.
I haven't finished it. It's oh yeah, there's a because it's a substance we don't do waw madda after
Yes.
huru.
Yeah. We will not do.
Fi ayamin is madde muntasil.
Madde?
Muntasil. It's two words. Munfasil.
Yeah.
Munfasil. Ayami in alif madda.
Good.
Mimma is mim rule is for idgham shafawi.
Idgham simple.
Idgham shafawi.
In ayyamim. So we have tanween. After tanween we have mim. So this is actually noon.
I didn't understand. What did you say, teacher?
I said that this is not idgham shafi, it's simply idgham because this is the noon sakina rule.
Oh, okay.
Because ayyamin, yes, ayyamin, it has the tanween at the end, kasratain, and after that we have mim from huruf yarmalun.
It's just idgham,
Yes,
because it has double
kasra. Yeah.
yes. Duda wow mada.
Good.
And faman ikfa.
Good.
Tajjala tajjala is a shadda. Fi yom yomaini is wow lin.
Good.
Yalin.
Very good.
Fala ismi. Fala is madde muntasil.
Madde?
Muntasil.
Munfasil.
Munfasil.
Remember when I did first time these two rules, I had this sign that when two dots come together, this means this will be in the same word. Like muttasil, it has two dots of tar together. So this means that the name of that rule will be muttasil, in which one word has the alif waw ya madda, and after that the hamza in the same word. So this is madde muttasil. And madde munfasil, we have noon, dot of noon separate, fa, dot of fa separate. It's not a rule. It's only to remember. I'm telling you that. Remember like this.
Oh, I
Munfasil
thought it was two words and one word. Munfasil is
in two.
and
As in
munfasil is
Munfasil, we
one
have
word.
two dots separately. Likewise, it will have in the two words. So Fala Isma, it's in
Okay.
two words. Fala is one word, Isma is the second word. So we say this is Made Munfasil.
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 Good. And in
Lubna?
Alayhi,
Alayhi ya madda yalin
good.
waman ikfa
Till here. Now, what type of mud will be on Alayhi if we stop here?
arid lin.
Very good. Barakallah. Yes, Hina?
Sorry, I was just going to say that you gave a very good example just a few ayah ago of Madh Munfasil. You compared it with Fasal. You said it's from Fasal. So for people who don't know what Fasal means, it means crop. So just how a crop is separate from each other, I think that was a very good way for remembering. You know.
Yeah,
In any way,
and
it's good that if you have some signs or some things in your mind that are not the rules, but to remember that things, you can have some this type of signs that if it has two dots, then we will seal it like that, and if it has one dot, then this means like we can make any signs and we can remember like that, inshallah.
But we don't have any dots here, Lubna. I mean, in this separa, do we? I mean,
No, I'm saying that we
Hina,
have the two names. Okay, I think you didn't get my point.
yeah.
I am saying that the name of Madde Muttasil and Madde Munfasil. When you look at their names, you know. In Muttasil, we have Mim, Ta, Swad, Lam. Right?
Okay.
So Ta has two dots together. This means it will be in one word. And in Madde Munfasil, the name of the Mad Munfasil, we have Noon and Fa, two dots separately. Noon, it has separate dot. Fa, it has separate dot. This means that this Mad will be in two words.
Okay.
Like
Okay. So it's like this.
Yeah, that's a good tip, Alhamdulillah. That's a good tip to remember.
Because we are usually thinking about because we write meanings in English, you know, so or words in English. So I wasn't thinking about how it's written in Urdu, you know, munfasil and muttasil. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Even though I'm an Urdu speaker, so
Mim, Ta, Swad, Lam, and in Munfasil we have Mim, Noon, Fa, Swad, Lam. Munfasil.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, makes sense. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Yeah. Anyone else who didn't read in last 2-3 weeks? You can complete that. Who you can start?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن تأخر فلا إثم عليه لمن اتقى واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم إليه تحشرون.
Good, Barakallah.
ومن إخفى تأخر فلا مد منفصل فلا إثم عليه مد أريد لين لمن اتقى واتقوا الله Allah's name is heavy واعلموا مد منفصل أنكم إظهار شفوي إليه يالين تحشرون مد أريد وخفي.
Good. Good. Barakallah. Barakallah. Inshallah, now we will do today's rule, and that is the Madde. Inshallah, we do the new type of mad today. That is the Madde Iwad. Madde Iwad. It's actually fall in Madde Asli category. We did Mad has two types, Madde Asli and Madde Fara'i. And we did in Madde Fara'i, Madde Muttasil, Madde Munfasil, Madde Arid Waqfi, Madde Arid Leen, and all other types of Madde Lazim. Now we will do some other types of mad, and inshallah, with the time when we do them, I will tell you that in which category it will fall. So mad iwad, it comes under mad asli. Mad iwad simply, iwad mean in Arabic is to substitute. We do like this, we know this rule, but we don't know that when we are doing this rule, actually we are doing mad iwad. So we all are reading this correctly. We know all of that. We don't know only the. So it will be easy, inshallah, for you to do. This mad is formed while stopping. When we stop, then we do this mad only. It occurs when fathatain mean two fatha, is substituted with an elongated alif when stopping on that word. What does it mean? That when we stop and we have fathatain, do zabar at the end, then what we do? What is the rule when we have two fatha at the end?
We drop one fatha and
One and
Drop
say.
one fatha, and then what that word become? Alif madda.
yeah.
So we make this long. So by changing fathatain into alif madda, it's simply called madde iwad. Simply. As we know that if we have kasratain or dhammatain, we simply drop all of them and we put sukoon. But when we have the fathatain, then we drop one fatha and we make it alif madda. By making alif madda instead of reading fathatain, this all process is called madde iwad. When we read this, like here is the example, وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمَّا. This ma is actually madde iwad. So while stopping, two fatha will become an alif mad. And this mad will not be formed on Thai marbuta. What is Thai marbuta? You know that when we have ha at the end and it has the two dots, ta, on it. So what we will not do? We read this as ta. Ta. Like here, we have irji'i ila rabbiki radwiyatam mardwiyah. So what we do here when we have Thai marbuta, we simply change ta into ha. And we don't make this alif madda because it doesn't have alif after that in this situation. Always we do this mad when we have two fathatain and after that alif. And it will happen every time, anywhere we find this rule, except when we have ta marbuta or ta at the end and it has two fatha. So what we do with that, we put the sukoon on ta and we read this ha instead of ta. So when we stop, we read this marudiyah. So like aminan, amina, like wakana Allahu aliman hakima. This ma is madi iwad. Khabiran basira. Ra is madi iwad. I think this is very simple thing. We do all of that, but this we didn't know the name of this. So inshallah now it will be clear to you. If you have any question, you can ask. So only changing fathatain into one fatha and reading as alif madda is called the madhi iwad. At that position, we say this is the madhi iwad, and madhi iwad always come when we are stopping. Clear? We can move forward.
Teacher, for example, on ayah 200, zikra, that is one example.
In ayah 200. Yes, this is the example. Very good.
Okay.
Likewise, in ayah 201, we have رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً. We are stopping here. We have fathatain, but this is the ta'i marbuta, so we will not do mad iwad here. We read this hasana. As I told you, this is a ta'i marbuta. We will not apply this rule here because it become ha, and we make this fathatain, we change it into the sukun. So it will not be, we are not reading this as alif madda hasanata. We read this hasana. So it will not consider. Good. Now you can search the example. Everyone search some example and let me know, so I will be confirmed that you are clear in this. Search any example and let me know.
Is it only for fathatain or kasratain, not on dammatain?
It will not be on kasratain, it will not be on dammatain, it's only for fathatain.
Okay.
Only for fathatain, because only we have alif after fathatain written in the Quran. You will not
And Lumna,
find.
it doesn't have to be necessarily at the end of an ayat, right?
No, it's not necessary. If you're stopping in between of the ayah, you will also say that this is the Madhi ayah.
In ayah 208, when we stop at kaf,
so do we consider this?
This, right? We consider it because there's a ta marbuta right there, and then we are making it a ha. Is it right?
No. So I said you that when we have this ta'i marbuta, it's an exceptional case. We will not consider this. This is not Madhi Aiwad. Madhi Aiwad is only when we have fathatain and after that alif. If we have ta'i marbuta, then this will not be Madhi Aiwad because we
this
are
will
not.
not be.
Yes, because we are not making it long. We are not doing alif madda there when we have ta'i marbuta. So we will not consider that. Only fathatain after that. Only fathatain and after that alif. That type of example we consider only.
Teacher,
And
I
we
have one in 200. Ayat Ashad Zikra.
yes, ashaddu dhikra.
Ayah 175. Inna alladhina yaktumuna ma anzalallahu min al-kitab wa yashtaruna bihi thamanan qalila.
Yes, qalila. This is the Madhi Aiwad. Simply anywhere you find fathatain and it has alif after that, and if we stop here, we read this with alif madda. This is called the Madhi Aiwad.
So, Lubna, I have a question on ayah number 172. Yeah, 171. وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي يَنْعِقُ بِمَا لَا يَسْمَعُ إِلَّا دُعَاءً وَنِدَاءً. There's a hamza, but we stretch here.
So we do Madhi Aiwad here.
Even though there's no alif after it?
Yes. Because actually there were two alif, dua, but when we join together and become hamza, alif is not, we do not write alif after hamza. It's actually present here, but we will not write.
Okay.
So when we read this, we say dua, if we stop. Like nida.
Jazakallah.
Good question. Anyone else?
In ayah 168, when we stop at halalan tayyiba.
Good. Halalan tayyiba. So your homework is to write 10 examples of Madhi Aiwad. So inshallah it will be very clear to you when you will do this, inshallah. And if you have any confusion, inshallah, we'll discuss this in the next class. Okay, before starting our translation, inshallah, we will do some part of grammar. That was actually the question which I think Saima asked me 3-4 weeks ago or 1 month ago. I forget, but that was some letter. I also forget that what was that, and I said that maybe it's the harfijar. But after that, when I searched, I found that no, it's not the harfijar. Actually, we have some muzaf, special muzafs, which when come, they give kasra to the next word. So we did that murakkab idafi before. We know that the first word, it's light. The second word, many times it has alif lam. Not always, but many times it has. And the first letter, it should be light, no tanween, and no alif lam. And the second word, the one condition which should be in mudaf ilay is it has the status of jar. This means that it has the kasra at the end. We did all that. That's why it's not mentioned here. Mudaf and mudaf ilay. So by looking at the signs of all that, we know that this is the phrase of izafi, murakkab idafi. We have first noun, we have second noun. First noun has two conditions, that it should be light, no tanween, and it should not have alif lam. The second noun, we did that it should have the kasra at the end, and alif lam many times we find. There are some words, when they come, they always 99.9 times there are chances that they are the mudaf, and the word which come after that is the mudaf ilayh. When we translate them, we didn't find of in the translation many times, especially in English. In Urdu we find many times ka, ki, ke, but in English we didn't find. So if we remember these words, then it will be easy for us to know that when these words come, they are the muzaf, and the word after that, they give that word kasra at the end, because the second one is mudaf ilay, and the condition of mudaf ilay is that it should have the kasra at the end. Clear? So there are some words in the Arabic language that are just as if we see them, we know them, they are mudaf. We have no need to look any signs, anything. We know that when they come, they are the mudaf. And the words that inshallah you are looking on the screen, and also some other, we will discuss this. These all words always remain mansoob. They have the fatha always. Unless if we have harfijar before them. If we have harfijar, then they have the kasra. Otherwise, always they have the nasab, they have the fatha. No dhamma on these. The ruling is that they have the fatha at the end, but if they have harfijar before them, then they will become kasra at the end. Their i'rab will be, and all are 100% considered mudaf when they come. The Arabic term for this special mudaf is actually isme zarf. We use these. What is the isme zarf? Isme zarf is that type of noun which show us the place or time of doing something. So all these words, they are telling us the place of the action, where that is taking place. That's why we say for these all words, isme zarf, zwa, ra, fa. Zwa after twa, zarf. So anywhere in Quran you find these words, the thing which come in your mind is these are the mudaf. And the word which come after that will be mudaf ilay, and it has kasra at the end. Like we read before in some days ago, inna allaha ma'al muhsinin. Ma'a with. Al-Muhsinin, the people who do ihsan. In Urdu, we translate Muhsinin ke saath, ke comes. Likewise, we have here qabla, like qabla mautihi, uski maut se pehle. Likewise. So we find many of them. Look on these words first. First one is qabla, before, ba'da, after, amama, in front of, khalfa, behind, qaddam, right in front of. Qaddama is not Quranic word. You will not find this in Quran, but in Arabic we find this. Wara'a, far behind. Laday, in the presence of. Duna, besides, other than, like Dunallahi, we find many times. Baina, after that, the next page. Yes. Fawqa, above. Tahta, under. Baina, between. Hawla, around. In the, with, or at, or by. Ma, with, in support of, or milladun. Ka is not at the end, milladun simply, especially from. So all these words, when they come, we consider them mudaf, and the word after that we will consider that is mudaf ilay. So mudaf ilay always have kasra because they are the mudaf. Hopefully it will be clear.
Do we have to memorize these words?
No, you have no need. Only look at them, and by looking them and by repeating them, only consider them as that when we read, inshallah, we will practice when we find any of this. So we remember that these are the special mudaf words. If you can memorize them, it's actually really very good. You will not remember all of them, but it will remain in your mind. Yes, some type of this word was in that. Maybe you will not remember all of them always, but when you find any of this word in the Quran, you find this, yeah, this was the special mudaf. And why we say this special mudaf? Because we have no need to look at any sign. When we see this, we know that simply they are the mudaf. So that's why we say them special mudaf. We have some other, inshallah, we will do in the next class. I didn't do all of them together, but these are the ism zarf. So remember all of these. Try to memorize if you can. If you cannot, then also it's equal. It's okay. Only the thing is that you need to remember that anything, any ism which show the place of any action or any person, then that will be the ism zarf, and we consider that as muzaf.
Excuse me, Lubna.
Yeah.
You said something about Murakkab-e Jari. Sorry, I missed writing it. What was it?
Yes.
Something about
So
jar.
on these, all these words have the fatha at the end. You find all these.
Yes.
If they have harf jar before them, then it will, this fatha change into kasra because of the harf jar.
Oh, okay.
So we
Jazakallah.
simply can say that these huruf have fatha always or many times, and it also have the kasra when it proceeds by a harf jar, but it will not have any dhamma anytime, anywhere.
So the definition is if they have harf jar before them, they change to kasra.
Yes, then their fatha changes into kasra.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah.
Clear, or you have any confusion, please ask. This is very good thing to know. Many times we become confused in all these things. Like we find fawqahum, above them, उनके ऊपर, के. In Urdu में you find के, का, की in many of these. Min tahtiha, tahtiha, उसके नीचे. So tahtiha is mudaf ilay. But because tahtiha has before that min, harfijar, that's why we are not saying this tahtaha. We make this tahtiha. Likewise in qabla, we have qabla mawtihi, before his death. Mawti. Why we have T? Because we have qabla before that. But as we have the example of qablika, min qablika, like we have in the Quran, we read in the starting verses, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ. Min is her fajr, qabl mudaf, as we said that always when this word comes, this will be mudaf, and qablika, ka is the mudaf ilay, and qablika together, how we translate? Aap se pehle. But why we made this qabli, not qabla? Because of min. So always they have fatha, only fatha changes into kasra when we have her fajr before. Clear? Or more confusing?
We just need more practice, inshallah.
Inshallah, it's not a big deal.
Then
Inshallah,
it will
when
get
you
into our
find
mind.
many time when you will start doing this, you find these words, so you will remember that, oh yeah, this word was in there. This is, that's why we have the kasra after that.
We have to write down all the rules, then we can understand this, teacher. Otherwise, we can't.
Yes, you can. You can write, read them again and again. Then inshallah, it will be helpful for you.
लुबना ये फिर मरकबे अजाफी में आएगा?
Yes, murakkabe izafi. All these are, when they come, they are actually the examples of murakkabe izafi. But in the murakkabe izafi which we did before, we need to look the signs. First one has this thing, second one has this thing, and we look that maybe it is not. But when we find these words anywhere, this means that this is 99.9% mudaf and mudaf ilay rule. Done? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, let's start over.
लुबना एक क्वेश्चन मुझे समझ नहीं आई इसमें, जैसे आपने बताया मिन कबली का, तो इसमें मिन तो जार हो गया, और कबली का ये मदाफ और मदाफ अलैह क्या होगा?
Qabli mudaf, ka mudaf ilay.
Oh, का मदाफ अलैह.
And ka, as ka is the pronoun, and the pronoun always remains same. We doesn't change. We don't change its haraka.
Okay, jazakallah.
We don't make this qabli ki because of qabli.
Okay, jazakallah.
Okay, let's start our translation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Surah Al Baqarah ayah number 204. And min from an-nasi, the people. Min an-nasi is the murakkabe jari. Min is the harf Man who yu'jibuka. Yu'jibu is from ujub, ijaba, ain, jimba. It appeals or pleases ka, you, qawluhu, qawl, speech, word, talk, who, his speech or word, fi, in, al-hayati, the life, hayaya is the root word, ad-dunya, dal, noon, wow, the nu, adna, dunya, all are the same. Adna and dunya because it's very near. We are living in this. And akhirah, it comes in at the end, and akhirah is at the last, and it is far away than dunya. That's why we say that akhirah, and we used to say ad dunya here. Wa yushhidu, and he makes or he witness. Allah, he makes witness. Allah, Allah, ala, upon, ma, what, fi, in, qalbihi, his heart. Qalbihi is also mudaf and mudaf ilayh. All that type of words, which one come, noun and after that pronoun, and we know the ownership there, as mudaf ilayh is actually the honor and the thing which he owns, the combination of these two things. So qalbihi, his heart, or we can say in English, heart of him. So of comes, but in Arabic we don't have of. That's why this is qalbihi, like we read in the starting, qawluhu, his speech, or qawl, word of him. So qawluhu, qalbihi, all these are also mudaf ilayh. Wa huwa, while he, aladdu. Laddu is from lam, dal, lad, most, disputer, al-khisam, those who dispute. Qaswama, fa, swad, mim. Aladdul khisami. This one is also murakkabe idafi, as we find alif lam and kasra at the end, and first word has no tanween and light version. So aladdul khisam. Wa, and, either, when, tawalla, waw, lam, ya, walaya, he took charge or he turned away. Both meanings are okay. Sa'a, he strove or he made utmost effort. Sa'a is the past tense. Sin ain ya. Fil ardi, in al ardi, the earth. Fil ardi, together is the murakkabe jari. Li yufsida, so that he creates disorder, mischief, fi, ha, in it. Wa yuhlika, and he destroys or he kills al hartha, the crops, one nasla, and the offspring. Al hartha one nasla. What type of phrase is this?
Murakkabe atfi.
Very good. Alhamdulillah. Murakkabe atfi, because it has the harf atf in between. Al hartha one nasla. Wallahu, and Allah, la, does not, yuhibbu, he loves, he likes, al fasada, the disorder or corruption. Wa, and
Excuse me, Lubna. Sorry.
mhm,
When you were saying, when you were on sa'a, in this ayat that you just did, sa'a, you said it's past tense, but you know the meaning says he strives, wo koshish karta hai. It sounds like present tense. So how do we know it's past tense?
it's past tense. As we translate in English, he strove, made
Okay.
effort. But when we are translating in Urdu, we say koshish karta hai, but
Yeah,
it's
which sounds like
actually,
present tense, right?
yeah, it sounds like, but it's actually by looking at the word, we know that the thing which happened in the past.
Okay. Thank you.
Wa, and either, when. Qila, it was said. Qila, what type of fail is this? Fail ma'ruf or fail majhul? Do you remember we said fail ma'ruf is when our doer is known, and fail majhul is when doer is unknown. We don't know file who is doing that. And here, and when qila, it was said. Do we know who said?
No.
Do we know? No. When we don't know, then by knowing this, we say that this is the fail
Majhul.
majhul. Many times we find dhamma. That's why maybe you confuse. But for qala qila, qala qul, when we make the majhul of qala, it becomes qila. Qala is he said, and qila it was said. La for who, him. Ittaqillah, fear Allah. Ittaqillah wa uqafiya. Qila, root word is qaf ba'ulam, as we know. Akhadhathu, it firmly took him. Akhaza, hamza khaza. Ta is to show the feminine because it is actually pointed towards al-izzatu, and al-izzatu the feminine. Al-izzatu, ain za, za, the pride, the honor, bil ismi, with the sin. Be with al-ismi, the sin, bil ismi together is the murakkabe jari. Fahasbuhu, so hasb is enough, sufficient. Who for him, Jahannam is hell. Wala bi'sa, and surely. Wa, and la, surely. Bi'sa, how bad. Al mihadu, the resting place. Mahada, mim hadad. Wa, and min, from. An-nasi, the people. Noon, waw, sin is the root word. Man who yashri from ishtara, he buys or he sells or he butters. Sheen roya, nafsahu, his soul. Ibtigha'a, to seek from. Baghya, mardatillahi. Mardat is from ra, dwad waw, radu, rida, player, approval of Allahi, Allah. Mardatillahi together is the murakkabe.
Exactly.
Exactly. Wallahu, and Allah, Ra'ufun, most kind, bil ibad, be with al ibadi, the servants or worshippers. Till here our lesson, inshallah. So what we will do, inshallah, I will try my best and we will complete in the next class this ruku, this till ayah 210, and then inshallah for the next for the first half we will review that, and inshallah in one class I will listen from you the translation from anywhere, and we will do the quiz for all the other part, inshallah. I will give you time, don't worry. Okay, let's take break for 3-4 minutes, inshallah, then we will do our tafsir and our prayer part. If you have any question you can ask.
लुबना, मुझे चाहिए थी वाह इस कीला, आपने बताया था फेले मजहूल, और दूसरा जो जिसे हम जानते हैं जो नॉन है उसे क्या कहते हैं? अननोन को फेल मजहूल कहेंगे।
और जो नॉन है उसको कहते हैं फेल मारूफ।
मारूफ, फेल मारूफ, ठीक है।
Okay. So are you doing your groups or not? For Saturday class,
Yes,
which
we are.
we started.
Yes, yes, we are
We are
doing
in
it.
Yes, we
Taslim's
are.
group. Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So
So
let's see
we
if
do
we have time today, then maybe I will listen some translation from you. Because I thought that we did Tajweed many times, but I didn't hear from you any translation. Hopefully it will be very good.
Yeah, it's a good
Our,
idea, inshallah.
our groups are usually 1 hour long. So, you know, mashallah, Taslim listens to everything.
MashaAllah.
Mashallah.
Taslim is doing very good job. MashaAllah, he's taking so many groups now.
Oh, mashallah, mashallah.
Yes, Zebunisa, are you also taking the Friday class?
Yes, because I am free that time, so I'm listening and
Because she
but I don't
asked
know
me
how to
to
that.
press the
I don't
same, and
know.
I didn't know that she's not in your group. All the others are in your group, in practice group, but she doesn't. I don't know why.
I have another Jebun Nisha. She's from Fiji.
Oh, I thought that maybe she's there.
No.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
You want me to add her? I can add her on Monday morning.
You can ask her if she want.
Yeah, I can.
Inshallah. Monday, 7
Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, she's Alhamdulillah doing. But if she want the review of all that, Alhamdulillah, the members of the Saturday class, they will not make you tired, inshallah, because they know many of the things. But
But
when you want,
when we listen to you, teacher, we refresh our mind, and there are some of the things that we learn, new
yes,
things we learn from you.
yes, it happens always. It's not the first time. When you start listening the third time, fourth time, you start thinking that, oh, I didn't know this before. This is the ijaz mudza of the Quran. This is the miracle of Quran. It, every time when you read, you find different type of things, different according to your situation. You find
Because
all.
we understand differently, na? The
Yeah.
first time is different.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's take.
Lubna,
Yeah.
yesterday I had asked you about Madde Lazim, Harfi Musaqqal. I think I'm stuck on these, Harfi Musaqqal and the other one. So the definition was when Shadda comes after Hurufe Madda in the letters of Hurufe Muqatti'at. Okay.
Mhm.
So the example was Alif Lam Mim. Okay.
Mhm.
So the Shadda is on Mim, right? So the Lam is not a Hurufe Madda.
So it's actually like this, that when we say that we are talking about the huruf muqattat, we are not looking at the letter by itself. We are looking at the name of that letter. So
Okay.
alif lam mim mean alif lam fa, lam alif mim, and after that is mim ya mim. So in lam we have alif madda la, and that after that is mim. Mim has sukoon, and
Oh,
after that we
okay.
have again mim ya mim. So it's actually the shafi here. Mim comes after
Okay.
mim sakina, as we do in the words. So in
Yeah.
alif lam mim, why we are making it long? Why we have shadda? Because here is the idgham shafawi. In the
Okay.
name of lam, we have lam alif mim. In the
Yeah.
name of mim, we have mim ya mim. So when we are
Oh,
joining, we have la alif madda, and after that we have the shadda. And why we have the shadda? Because of the rule of idgham shafi. Mim sakina, and after that again we have mim.
okay.
So in huruf
So,
muqattat, always
okay.
in huruf muqattat, we look at the name of the letter, not the letter itself.
Okay. I think now it makes sense to me. Jazakallah.
Nachit. Okay, let's take break, inshallah. Then we will start after 4-5
Teacher, I
minutes.
have a question.
Yeah.
It's on the quiz one. It says this Quran के सबसे तोवील आयत which
Yeah.
ayat is Deen? Is it A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitani Rajim?
It's not deen, it's dain. Dain mean loan.
So which one is it? I don't know about that one.
I told this, it's in Surah Baqarah. When I gave the introduction of Surah Baqarah, I told I will check again and let you know the name. It's actually in the second last ruku of Surah Baqarah. It's the ayah 282 of Surah Baqarah.
How do you say it, Lubna? Can you say it again, please?
It is the longest ayah of the Quran.
Yeah.
It's
So
in
is it
Surah Al Baqarah.
Ayati Deen or Zeen?
No, it's same dal ya noon, but
Dal ya
dal
noon. Okay.
in
Okay.
deen religion we use the deen dal with kasra,
Okay.
but
Okay.
with fatha it's loan dain.
Dain.
And in ayah 282, when we start, it says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, idha tadayantum bidainin. You find this word here. So by as all the things which discuss in this ayah is about the loan, dain, that's why we call this ayat dain. We have this misconception that when someone asks that what is the longest ayah of the Quran, so we say Ayatul Kursi. So Ayatul Kursi is not the longest surah. It's very important. It has a lot of, you can say, it's
Benefits.
an azim ayah, but it's not the longest ayah. Yes, this one. It's, I think, it covers one page. This ayah.
Wow.
This one, which is on screen.
He's really wrong.
Yes, it's really long.
So teacher, I have a question. If it's one ayah is one page, and if we read it in our salat, then you is this counted like in one rakat if you read the whole page, or you have to read two more ayahs to make it three ayahs?
No. It's not as like it's not you can say the quantity that it should be 3. When we say that it should be 3, this means that it should be to the length of Surah Al-Ikhlas or Surah Al-Kawthar. Mean it should be 1 or 1.5 or 2 lines when we want to read in the. But if we are reading the long, then it's not necessary to make it 2 or 3. 1 is enough.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. I was confused about that.
Okay, let's stop. And I many times I remember and I forget. And again, now I remember that we were doing over duas which we read in the prayer. We start memorizing them and then we stop doing. So please remind me when I forget and start doing, because it's very, very important to do. Inshallah. Okay, let's take break, inshallah, then we start. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's start our tafsir from ayah 200. Very, very important ayat and very good dua which comes here. If someone has tawfiq to read this dua, inshallah, he will find good in this dunya and also in akhirah. We will see, especially we talk today about the prayers, duas, which we need to do, and what type of duas are important to do, and can we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everything, or we should be ask only some specific things. Inshallah, we will see. Ayah number 200, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ. So you all completed, when you all completed, manasikakum, your worship, your rituals. Manasikakum is mansik, plural of mansak or mansik. And it's actually rituals. And what type of rituals? All the Hajj rituals, especially which we do till 10th of Zulhijjah. So we went to the places, Mina, Arafat, Muzdalfa, and we go for Jamarat, we do the Rumi and all that. That all are the rituals. And especially on the 10th of Zulhijjah, the Hujjaj, what they do, they throw stones and they sacrifice their animal, they cut their hairs, they do tawaf, and do say all these rituals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that after performing all of these rituals, what you need to do, what is in the sunnah that we need to stay after 10th of Zulhijjah in the Mina, 11, 12, 13. These are called the Ayam Tashriq. Hujjaj, they remain there. Pilgrims, they remain in 3 days there. And what they do, they only go to do Rami, to only go there to do the Rami, to Jamarat. And they can also go for Tawaf, and that's it. And all other things, what they need to do, they need to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that when you complete all of your rituals, the thing which you need to do is fadhkurullah, so you all mention Allah. Dhikr is actually remembering Allah in any way, by reading Quran, by reading prayer, by doing du'as, and by doing anything which please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and by doing that you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ? Remember Allah like as your remembrance of your forefathers. أو أشد ذكرى, or more severe in remembering. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this? Because in Mushrikeen, when they went for the Hajj, they do all the rituals, and after that, after completing all of the rituals, what they do, they did get together and talked about their forefathers, and this was the very favorite hobby of them. They praised their ancestors, and if someone want to show their greatness, what they do, they showed greatness of their forefathers, their tribe, they were like that and they were doing like that. And because of that, what they do, they said verses of poetry for that. And they called for the term they used is the mufakhra, to do fakhr, to show the pride, arrogance, that we are better than you. And they talked worldly things. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, as you're talking about your forefathers and you are showing their greatness, instead of that, you need to do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in Hajj, as we know, all are wearing the same garments, all are equal. There is no any difference. You can't know that who is poor, who is rich here. Everyone has the same thing, same facilities. Now many things changed, but still we have the same uniform, same garment they are wearing, and same places they go, and same things they do. Rami al Jamarat, Tawaf, everything. Everyone is doing. No one is, there is no any exception that the person who is wealthy, he will not do, and all that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that when you complete your manasik, what you need to do, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way, and more than that which you do with for your fathers. And as we know in the hadith, Ayamut Tashriq, Ayam Akal wa Shurb wa Dhikrullahi ta'ala. Ayam Tashriq for the Hujjaj and for all the other people, they are actually Ayam, days Akal, of eating, wa Shurb, and drinking, wa Dhikrullahi ta'ala, and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why pilgrims are not allowed to fast on these days. So it's okay if you eat good, if you drink good, and if you are talking with someone with a good way, discussion or anything, all are allowed, but with that zikrullah should be dominant. And here is our ashad the zikra, more sphere, and it can be two types. One is that do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than in quantity, zikran kathira, do more than that which you did for your fathers. And the second one is more strong, mean more intense in your heart, with your heart, more sincerity, more devotion, and love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember Allah with more sincerity and devotion than you remember your forefathers. And as we know in Surah Alam Nashrah, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. And when you become free, get busy. Very beautiful. When you become free, get busy again in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this? Why this is a very important need to make yourself busy? Because moment person stop remembering Allah, shaitan comes and make person busy in disobedience of Allah ta'ala. So what we need to do when we're done with one good thing, then we need to start another thing. Otherwise, shaitan will overcome upon us, overpower us. So واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. We also have this after Jummah prayer that remember Allah a lot so you will attain falah. Any type of recitation we can do, and in all that type of zikr we also have the dua. In Hajj we do so many duas. We try to do a lot of duas, and it's also you can say social norm that when anyone goes to the Hajj, they ask to the people that what type of dua you want that I will do for you. And people they write all the duas on their diaries, and when they go they read from there that we will not forget any dua and all that. So dua is a very very important part of the Hajj. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying after that what type of du'as people, different people they make, and what are good and what are not. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying Faminan Nasi, so from the people, Man Yakulu, who says, Rabbana atina fid dunya, O our Lord, give, grant us in the world. وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ, and for him in the hereafter no any share. Why? Do we not allow to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the dunya, from the worldly things? No, we can. But if our all prayers from starting till end is only for dunya, then this is not a good thing. We only receive dunya, we only have dunya which is written for me. Maybe we have a lot of prayers, but we only receive that part. But if we pray, then it will make our dunya and our akhirah both good. So what they do? Quite literally, some people they only ask dunya, dunya, dunya. Then they are making, when they are making dua, what they do? They beg a lot for dunya. When it comes to dunya, their mind really works. And when it comes to akhirah, they only say, oh Allah, give us Jannah. Oh Allah, give us only some, you can say, very duas which are known. They hear from their ancestors, but only 1, 2, 3 duas. But they have nothing in their heart. Their brain shut down. They don't know what they need to ask for the akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. Khalaq means a major portion of something. So such type of person does not has any share in akhirah because he was not praying and asking for akhirah. So it's upon Allah. He gives to him or not. And actually, du'as are the reflection of our inner state. We ask dua which we feel, which we want a lot, what our priorities are. It actually reflects what we want to achieve, what we find important. We ask about all of that. If we have no prayers about akhirah, this means we have no any importance of akhirah. And how we find the akhirah then? So the person, if his love, concern, worries is only dunya, because he is only making a du'as for dunya, then with regards to such person, وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ, he has no any portion, no any major portion in the akhirah. So what is the correct dua? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrected this, that some people they do this dua and that is the perfect dua. وَمِنْهُمْ, and from them, man who yaqulu, he says, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. Oh look here, they are also asking dunya, adding hasanat, good. O Allah, grant us in the world, in this dunya, good. Hasanatan is from Husn. The thing which is good, which is perfect more for me, which do not become trial for me, which does not make me away from you. Give me all that things. And that's why we find very good dua. I like dua istikhara a lot. It has very good wording as what we say in there, that if it's not good for me, then turn it away from me and give me something better than that, and then make me pleased with that. So by praying like this, it's a good thing. We can ask the dunya and all the things, but ask those who are better for you. And we can ask in dunya all materialistic things, all the blessings, the guidance, the tawfiq of doing good deeds, and we can ask home, we can ask car, we can ask anything, as we know that uh, it was the sunnah of our ancestors, that what they do, if the shoelace of their lost, they ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that give us that. So it's a good thing that if we ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala each and everything, we have the relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, I need this. My heart is break and I need this thing. I don't like that wording of that person. Please make me feel better. And I need this thing. I like this thing a lot. I like that dress. I like that thing. Anything we can. As we know, the prayer of Musa alayhi salam, what he said, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin fakir. Oh my Lord, anything good that you send to me, I'm needy of it. Everything. But it should not become a trial for us. And as we know, once a man he came to Prophet, peace be upon him, and it's also mentioned in the Quranic verses. And he asked that, please make dua for me that Allah increase my wealth for me. So when I will have a lot, I will give in charity and become very righteous and do this and that and all that. So Prophet, peace be upon him, he prayed for him. And because of Prophet's dua, he has a lot of wealth, animals, so many animals, a lot of wealth. But after that, he could not manage that in Medina. He left and he lost and forgot all promises he made. He didn't give anything in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is the purpose and how this is the blessing if we are not using this? Many times we say, I'm not able to give in the path of Allah, or I'm not able to do this because I have this problem. If this problem solved, inshallah, I will do this. But many times when that thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he make that thing away from us, what we do, we forget all of it. And the second thing, they ask, fi dunya hasana, and also wa fil akhirati hasana. Oh Allah, we need the worldly things, all that, but also we need the good akhirah. Because look, if we have something good in our 20-year life, we have car, home, and all these things which we feel that they are actually, if we anyone has all of these things, he is the successful person. If we have all of them and after 20 years we lost everything, so we feel ourselves still successful? No. So a person, he has everything in the dunya, but when he reaches to hereafter, he has nothing. So will he be successful? No. Only when he find good in dunya and also he find good in akhirah, he find the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there. And wafil akhirati, actually what does it mean? Anything that a person could experience the moment of death till he enters Jannah. all the timing in between, all the blessings which he will receive is وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَ. And as we know that when everyone go to Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them that do you need anything else? So they said that we have each and everything. You gave us more than which we deserve. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to them, I bestow my rizwan and happiness for you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show them, he will show himself to them. And this was the very, very big blessing for them. And the things doesn't end here. The dua doesn't end. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Very important thing. وقنا عذاب النار. وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أجرنا منه. وقنا is from وقاية. Wow, قافية. Don't let us suffer the punishment of hellfire even a moment. Why this dua is, as we said, that fil akhirati hasana, the entrance of Jannah also come. Why waqina adhab an-nar mentioned separately? Because there will be some people who enter paradise after suffering punishment in the hellfire. And the hellfire, the adhab an-nar, is a place no one wanna even see it. It took the player from you. It happens many times that when we see any thing, horrible thing, or any scene, any picture on the TV where someone is suffering something, so it came our mind and we say, that thing comes again and again in my mind. I don't want to eat, I don't want to sleep and all that. And the nar, if someone look at that, it will also take the all the prayer of that person. And many people, and many times shaitan, it put this thing in our mind that it's okay, we are saying the kalima la ilaha illallah muhammad rasulullah, inshallah we will go to paradise. So if we will go to jahannam, it's okay, after some time at last we will reach to the jannah. But it's not a matter. Look, no one can suffer. We can't even put our finger for seconds in this fire. What about that fire which is 70 times more than this dunya fire? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter us directly to the Jannah without giving us any punishment, any suffering in the hellfire. That's why we find this ayah, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ فَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. So whoever he is, what happened to him? He enters Jannah and he will be saved from the hellfire. Actually, he is the one who completely successful. And someone asked to one scholar that how long anyone remain in an-nar, when anyone go to the nar, and then after that when he will go to the Jannah. So he said the only thing which I know in the Quran is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying la bisina fiha ahqaba. They will remain there centuries. Centuries. And as we know that one day of the Qiyamah, it will be many, many more times greater than the days of our life. And what about centuries? So
That's the shortest, right?
yes,
Century.
we can say this is the shortest. But ahqaba, it's actually mentioned la bithina fi ahqaba, simply like this. It's not we can say, maybe it's mentioned in any hadith, I don't know. That's why I am not explaining like this is the shortest. The centuries is by itself is a long, long, long time. We are not living in this life for century. Very, I think very less people they live for a century. No one. So this dua we need to do as much as we can. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying after that, أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا. Those for them are portion, a share from what they earned. So if they do good deeds, they are doing good, so they will receive what they are asking. They will find a good share in the akhirah, but not only by their wishes, by the deeds which they will do. So we need two things, doing good and making dua. Not only dua will be enough on the day of judgment, and not only we say we are doing right, we have no need to make dua. No, we need to do both things. Wallahu sari'ul hisab, and Allah sari'u, swift, quick, al hisab, the taking or in doing the account, in taking account. Wallahu, and Allah sari'u is from Surah quick, do not delay. Al hisaba, the hisab, the account. So we can understood in this in two ways. Wallahu sari'ul hisab, it gives the two meaning, that account of our deeds will be taken very soon. We don't know when we will die. Maybe we will die today or tomorrow, in this month, in the next month, this year, next year, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, maybe after 5-10 minutes. We don't know. And the accountability starts right after we die. And it's not only when we die. We find so many times that what we do in dunya, we find the result of that in dunya also. So hisab of dunya not far away. In dunya also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give people what they deserve. And that's why we find in ayah, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ قَرِيبٌ. And you don't know, maybe the day of judgment is very close to you. Maybe you will die soon and all the things start happening. And the second meaning is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will start doing the hisab, the taking accountability, it will not take a long time. He do all of that very quickly. It will take only few hours, just a part of it. So it's not like we think that maybe everything will not be looked. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look each and everything. That's why we need to do this dua. Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira. Oh Allah, take from us very easy hisab. And do you know what is the easy hisab? What is the easy accountability? It mentioned in the hadith that Prophet peace be upon him, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see all the sins of that person. He called him. He see in front of him that you did this, you did this, you did this. Yes, yes. He said, yes, I did. Because at that time he will not be able to justify anything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked one person, believer, that come close to me, and then he remind him, I gave you this, all of the blessings. And then he remind him that on such and such day you did such and such thing. You talked very harshly at that time. You delayed your prayer. You did not read Quran at all on that day. You did khana on that thing. You mocked on that day for that person. And the person, he start thinking, now I will go to the hellfire. There is no any hope. So at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to him, all this sin, I hide them for you in the dunya. So I will hide these all today too. And I forgive you, and that person will enter to Jannah. This will be the very light accountability which will be done. Look, and how difficult it will be too. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked you, He reminded you all the blessing, and then He asked you, you did this, that. That feeling and that thing will also be very difficult, but it will be the hisab yasira. And if someone will be asked about something, why you did this and why you don't do this, as it mentioned in the hadith, Prophet peace be upon him said, then nothing, that he will be punished on that. The one who will be questioned, he will be punished. So that's a Prophet, peace be upon him, he did this dua, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasir. As we know in the Surah Al-Inshiqaq, فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسِبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. At that time, Aisha radiallahu anha, he asked, what is hisaban yasira? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet, peace be upon him, told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at each and everything, and he told him that you did it, and after that, he forgave him. This is the hisaban yasira. Okay, after that, the ayah is last ayah, Wadkurullah, and you all remember Allah fi ayyamin ma'adudat, once numbered, counted. Ayyamin ma'adudat, some counted days. And why it is mentioned again, as we also know that Ayyamin ma'adudat was when we read all the ihkam of Siyam, Ramadan, that when we think that few days, it's very short time, we try to benefit from them. We try to benefit every moment, every single moment of that time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying ayyama ma'adudat, numbered days. You have not to do all these things whole year or whole life. It's only for some days. فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ, so whoever hurried in 2 days, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. In 2 days, we are talking about Ayyam Tashriq here, 11, 12, or 13 Zulhijjah. So who want to remain in Mina 11 and 12, and then he want to leave Mina and go to Makkah, he is allowed. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. And who will remain till the 3rd day, and after that he go back, it's also okay. فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, no any sin upon him. لِمَنِ اتَّقَى, but only the one thing which he should have, if Allah has no any objection if he stayed 2 days, if he stayed 3 days, but only thing which he should have is the taqwa. He need to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If he has a fear of Allah, then both are okay. وَاتَّقُوا وَاعْلَمُوا, and you all safeguard, adopt taqwa, fear Allah, وَاعْلَمُوا, and you all know, أَنَّكُمْ, indeed you all, إِلَيْهِ, towards him, تُحْشَرُونَ, you all will be gathered, like as you gather in Jannah. You came from so many different places. There are so many people, rich and poor, and all ages, all different type of cultures, everyone together. On the day of judgment, you all will be gathered like this, and all have the same garment, same uniform, same thing. No one rich. At the time of the day of judgment, some people will be happy, some people will be sad, like we find in Hajj. Some people suffer more, some people suffer less, everything. So actually Hajj teaches us and reminds us the day of judgment, and teaches us taqwa. Taqwa, to fear Allah, to it remain in our mind that Allah is knowing each and everything which we are thinking, which we are saying, which we are doing. And we need to look that in all these the previous verses we find a lot the word taqwa in different styles. لِمَنِ اتَّقَى وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى وَاتَّقُونِي. Taqwa, taqwa, taqwa. Because Hajj teaches us taqwa, as the fasting it teaches us taqwa. And why we need taqwa? Because we can't able to benefit from Quran if we don't have taqwa. As in the starting of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. If we want to find the complete guidance, we need to become muttaqi. And all these pillars of Islam, they make us muttaqi. Alhamdulillah, we completed this till ayah 203. Inshallah, we'll do the next verses in next week. If you want to ask any question, you can. Otherwise, we will complete our sutra portion of the prayer book in next 2-3 minutes, inshallah. So we were on page 235 in prayer book. What is sutra? Who will define?
Something that guard your prayer.
Something that guides your prayer. Good.
You put it in front of you when you pray.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rasulullah
Symbolic,
said,
you can say
put
some
it in
barrier
front of
which you
him.
put in front of you. Yeah, when you are praying, when you are performing prayer. So we should have that. What?
It is an object that we put in front of our prayer.
Yeah, any barrier, any object that we put in front of us while praying. This is called the sutra. We were on page 235 to perform salah facing a bed. If someone is on the bed and there is very small place, we can we pray in front of the bed or not? Many people, they say that no, we only pray in front of bed or behind the bed, sorry, when we are praying the namaz-e-janazah. So we have one body in front of us and then we pray. So we are not allowed. So what about radiallahu anha narrated, do you make us women equal to dogs and donkeys? While I used to lie in my bed, the Prophet ﷺ would come and perform salah facing the middle of the bed. She was on the bed and he was reading, he was praying his prayer. I used to consider it not good to be in front of him in his salah. So I used to slip away slowly and quietly from the foot of the bed till I got out of my blanket. So if you have space, you have no need to do like this. But sometimes people, they don't have the space. So we are not, this is not a reason that we say that we can't pray. Or if you have some, any that type of issue, you can put sutra in front of you, but you can pray. Distance between the person and the sutra. How much the thing should be placed when you pray? How much far it should be? Sahil bin Saad radiallahu anhu narrated the distance between the musalla, praying place of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and wall was just sufficient for a sheep to pass through. So it should be only very little. Salama radiallahu anhu narrated the distance between the wall of the mosque and the pulpit by the side of which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to perform salah was hardly enough for a sheep to pass through. Sin of a person who passes in front of a person performing salah. This is very important. Many of us don't know. Bashar bin Said narrated that Zaid bin Khalid radiallahu anhu sent him to Abi Juhaym to ask him what he had heard from Allah's Messenger about a person passing in front of another person in salah. Abu Juhaym replied, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the person who passes in front of another person in salah knew the magnitude of his sin, he would prefer to wait for 40 days or months or years rather than to pass in front of him. Abu another said, I do not remember exactly whether he said 40 days, 40 months or years. But you see that if at least we took the smaller one, that is 40 days, it's also a big thing. It is mentioned in Al Bazaar through another chain with the addition 40 years. Can I complete this page? Because our time is done, but our topic remain. So can we complete the page for 2-3 minutes?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay for me.
Preventing the person who tries to pass in front of him. So what we need to do? If we are praying, the previous hadith was where we should not pass the person who is praying. The next hadith is if someone tries to pass and we are praying, what we need to do? Abu Saleh as-Saman narrated, I saw Abu Said al-Khudri performing salah on a Friday behind something, which acted as a sutra. A young man from Bani Abi Muaid wanted to pass in front of him, between him and the sutra. If he passes behind the sutra, it's okay. But if it passes between him and the sutra, what we need to do? But Abu Said repulsed him with a push on his chest. Finding no alternative, he again tried to pass. But Abu Said pushed him with greater force. The young man abused Abu Said and went to Marwan and lodged a complaint against Abu Said. Abu Said followed the young man to Marwan, who asked him, "O Abu Said, what has happened between you and the son of your brother?" Abu Said said to him, "I hear the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, if anyone amongst you is performing salah behind something as a sutra, and someone tries to pass in front of him, between him and his sutra, then he should repulse him, and if he refuses, he should use force against him, for he is shaitan." Shaitan comes inside of him. That's why he's crossing you. So what you need to do, you push him back with your hand. Talha bin Ubaidullah radiallahu anhu narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when someone among you keeps before him anything like the back of saddle, then he should continue his salah and should not worry if anyone passes in front of him. Because if someone pass behind of that, then it's okay. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrated, once it so happened that the Prophet, peace be upon him, was performing salah, and a goat came running and wanted to pass in front of him. The Prophet set his body to the wall, and the goat had to pass behind the sutra. So he didn't allow the goat also to pass from that place. So this is actually very serious matter, which we didn't think about that. Sometimes in masjid it happens that people, they pass in front of the people who are praying. So we should be very careful by ourselves, and if someone want to pass, we should do that. We pull them back with our hand. Okay, alhamdulillah, if you will have any question, inshallah, we'll discuss this in the next class. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam.